So you're going to love this because this is probably I don't know. I've lost count. I've been having some real resistance around doing this particular episode, recording this episode, which is crazy because I love doing this show for you. And I just think it's funny how the universe works. But this show is all about starting in the face of strong resistance. So if you want to start a project, but you're procrastinating, you're finding things getting in the way, you have a sense of overwhelm, you keep finding excuses or other things to do so you don't start. That is what this episode's all about. And why I'm laughing is because I've been having tech problems with Descript as I'm recording this, because that's the tool that I use to record this show. And it's not recording. In other words, it's having a problem connecting to the cloud. So I'm going to give it this try and hopefully it works this time. If not, I am just going to close down my computer for the day and maybe try this again tomorrow. So wish me luck. Anyway, so I want to help you through a 3-step process that will enable you to move through, understand the purpose of the resistance, and start your project or your business or whatever it is that you're trying to start. And I will give you some very funny personal examples too. So let's enjoy the show and hope that it happens. Welcome to My Solopreneur Life. I'm Terry Pappy, your gracious host, and I am so glad you're here. I have a wonderful episode for you. Sit back, relax, and let's have some real talk about what it is to be a solopreneur. When we want to start something, this season's all about starting. When we want to start something, it's usually driven by a really cool idea or a goal that we want to achieve so we'll feel better. And the feeling better can be in terms of making more money, being more physically fit, having a new relationship or getting out of a bad relationship, any of those things. Feeling better comes from a lot of different circumstances, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish. Let's say you want to start a business or any type of project or endeavor, meaning, okay, I'll give my own example. Recently, I've wanted to get back to working out. I understand intellectually the benefits of being physically fit, especially as we age, and I love to play golf, and I want to make myself stronger so I am pain-free when I play golf and I can enjoy it more. Plus, I want to beat my boyfriend on the course. It's always that much more fun when we play and I end up beating him. And he's a good golfer, but he gives me a ton of strokes. Oh, let me tell you, he gives me a lot because I suck at golf. I really do, but I love it so much. And I love it to the point where I'm willing to go and do something that I don't like, which is working out. For whatever reason, I've always been naturally physically fit. I was a tomboy growing up on a farm when I was a kid, and I've always been tall and thin and athletic and sporty and active in general. Never been hardcore about like, oh, I run every day or, oh, I go to the gym every day. I'm a gym rat. I've never been like that. It's never been that kind of controlled situation. But I know that I have to do certain things now as I'm aging that will improve my flexibility, agility, balance, and all those things that they all tell us that we start to lose along with a lot of collagen when we age. So that's my kind of like analogy / story of what I'm dealing with when it comes to resistance. So I'm going to use that as an example. But it can be starting a business. It can be doing any kind of starting thing. So if whatever it is you want to start and you encounter this type of resistance, I want to give you 3 steps that you can try out to see if you can work through it, to neutralize that resistance, to kind of make fun of it and say, this is ridiculous. I can't believe I was stopping myself from doing this because it's something I want, right? If you remember from the last episode, I talked a lot about negative beliefs and fears and how to kind of work through those, understand what their purpose is, like it's the lizard brain trying to keep you alive when the tiger's in the bushes, right? The amygdala wants to keep us safe. So it's all about survival. So resistance can take a form like that. But in these 3 steps, and you don't have to go into deep analysis about this. You don't need to hire a psychiatrist and go sit on a couch and talk about the things that you resist. This is something that's easy. It's a choice. Remember, it's always a choice for you to have that resistance and allow it to stop you from moving forward to doing something you really want to do, especially if it's starting a business. Here's the first step: assess. Take a moment to assess what is the project or the thing that you want to start, and why do you want to start it? So what's been going on as far as like, where did you come up with the idea? How did it first occur? So in my example, what I just shared about golfing, I want to be more physically fit so I can play better golf and enjoy it more. And all the other side benefits that come from working out on a regular basis. I even hired a session with a personal trainer so she could just set me up on a regimen that, okay, now I know the movements, now I know the strength training exercises and how to do them the right way. I even bought some equipment, stuck it upstairs, and it's still sitting there getting a little dusty because I'm not in the routine yet. I'm not dedicated myself, so I have my own form of resistance. And I'm using all kinds of excuses because I don't want to do it because I'm lazy. And when it comes to starting your own business, one of the things that you are always going to face are fears and resistance around doing that because it's not easy. It's a lot of work. So that's the first thing. Assess the situation. What are you trying to accomplish? Why are you trying to accomplish it? And really understand that's kind of like the starting place. That's why you're having the resistance to begin with. There's something getting in the way of you moving forward to achieve that goal. Okay, step number 2 is where you want to identify the resistance. So the first thing is, okay, what's my goal? What do I want to do? And why do I want to do it? The second thing is, all right, why haven't I started yet? What's getting in the way? What do the excuses sound like? What form does the procrastination take? What am I doing or not doing that's not moving that starting activity forward? Why can't I move that forward? And so that's when you look at and you try to identify what are the underlying beliefs or underlying stories that you may have around that. Well, for me in working out, yes, I'm lazy. That's part of it. It's going to take away some of the freedom that I like to experience in my day. I want to be able to serve my clients. I don't want to have to, well, I can't have that meeting because I'm going to go, that's when I'm supposed to work out. And that's what drives me crazy about like the whole workout thing, right? But people succeed well when they have a regular routine. So for me, I'm struggling trying to find what is the right time of day to go instead of just going, you know what I mean? Just like go. That's why the whole Nike just do it thing. Anyway, I digress. And so when you look at and identify the form of resistance, what is it really about? Is it driven by a fear? Is it driven by, like in my case, a little bit of laziness, a little bit of not wanting to feel constrained to a commitment that is something I'm going to have to sustain, which everyone knows who has a workout routine. It's like once you stop working out, you start feeling like crap again. And so it's something you have to do on a very regular basis, kind of like eating. You have to eat every day in order to stay alive. Well, to keep your tone up and your physical agility up, you got to be physically active. And so that's the second step. So the first step, you assess your goal, why you want it, what specifically is it, and that detail. Second step is identify the resistance. What is the resistance? What is getting in the way? And the third step is to make a choice. And once you kind of have a lay of the land, you have all the facts, you've done the analysis into yourself and why you're doing what you're doing, and you're sitting there with that knowledge and that insight, and now you have a choice. It's basically you can choose to shelve, like in other words, not start. So like, okay, this resistance is here because maybe the timing isn't right, or maybe the conditions aren't right. Or maybe I would feel better, for example, if I stayed in my corporate job another 6 months and saved up before I actually quit and started my own business. So there are practical things that make sense that maybe the resistance is a mask for. That is really what's going on is it's just trying to protect you from making a choice and moving forward and starting this thing when you're not quite ready. So allow that to be. Doesn't mean you never do it. I mean, it could. You could decide, you know what, I don't want to do this. This is just not me, not why I want to move forward. And you could just decide to kind of rethink, kind of fall back, regroup, and think of a different way to execute against that goal, reshape it, whatever needs to happen. Or you could just shelve it and say, the timing's not right. And then the other choice is you just need to jump in and start. Despite the resistance, just work your way through it and say, I'm just going to go ahead and start. It's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable, but the result is worth it. And I need to stay focused on the why. Why am I doing this thing? Why am I working out every day or every other day? Because I want to be physically fit. I want to be strong. I want to be agile. I want to have balance. I want to have coordination. As I age, these are important things. And so when you look at all the resistance, the purpose of the resistance, and how it's showing up in your life, you can make a better assessment of what it's doing to either help you, show you that you're not quite ready to make that step, or to go ahead and just move through it because it's a growth opportunity. And so that fear, just acknowledge it as the amygdala trying to keep you safe and move forward and make it happen because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. So I hope that was helpful, just kind of like an abbreviated, very short episode because I mean, if you think about the amount of time that I've put behind the mic today to get this thing recorded, I've probably recorded maybe 3 hours. And I think once you get to the point where you've recorded it so many times, you just want to cut to the chase and so it was more of a summary, but it was like the whole episode was a prompt for you. So wish me luck getting to the gym because I'm still not quite, I think I'm still struggling with step number 2 in this little 3-step process, but hopefully I'll be able to work through it and get myself in better shape, so I can take on the world and keep doing this show. Anyway, I hope that helps. Have a good one. I'm so glad that actually recorded and it didn't give me all these errors. I'm so happy. Yay. Technology can work. You just have to be patient. Work through the resistance. Work through the resistance. How's that for an example? All right. Thanks a bunch. See you soon. Well, I know you're disappointed, but that's it for this episode. Listen, the great news is there's another one coming, so stay tuned. Anyway, I just want to make sure that you do the prompt if this episode had a prompt and you get that homework done because you're going to be a better solopreneur. How's that for a maternal finger shaking at you? Hey, listen, thanks so much for being here, for giving me time of your day, and, for taking it on. So if you want to learn more and stay connected with me, just head on over to mysolopreneurlife.com. Thanks a bunch. See you soon. That was pretty good. I think I'll keep that one.